Hey everyone, and welcome to another Strong Men with Jared Whitaker. Again, part of the series where I'm introducing kind of support services around domestic abuse to people. And today I'm joined with Lucy, who is the creator of You Don't Own Me and the host of the Dip In and Out of Lucy podcast. Hey Lucy, thanks for coming on.
Hi, thank you, Jared. Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah, welcome. And I mean, as you know, these are really straightforward and simple, nothing fancy. It's more just a chance for you to let people know what is it you do and how are you helping people around the world of domestic abuse.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, as you are as well. Yes, I started You Don't Own Me, so I'm Lucy, and I started You Don't Own Me last year. You Don't Own Me is very much around lots of blogs, guest blogs, that kind of thing, giving people insights into domestic abuse and just really a case of, do people know where to look for support, resources, that kind of thing. So there's the resources page. I also do an online session around post-separation abuse, which most people don't, know or talk about. Guest speaking and consultancy around domestic abuse in post-separation abuse, which is my specialty. I also host a podcast called Dip In and Out with Lucy, and the podcast is with lots of different professionals, lots of different victims and survivors, including yourself. And yeah, it's just very much as the title says, dip in and out. People can dip in and out when they want. It's very much around feeling like a safe space where you can go and find information about abuse and obviously try to understand it a bit more, and for friends and family as well, because sometimes that's a really difficult conversation for them to have with those with lived experience of domestic abuse. And it's really much a conversation. It's very much conversation, and keeping it very straightforward and not too intense or intimidating, so that people feel actually this is a safe space where I can sit with these people and listen to them or watch. And for many people, hopefully they feel validated in their own experience and that they're not on their own.
Yeah, and I think what's really nice about your stuff, and when I first discovered you, was that you talk about domestic abuse. You don't talk about women getting domestically abused or men getting domestic. You're just talking about the entire concept, and your stuff is for everybody. So it's
Yeah.
not gender specific. But also that your You Don't Own Me website is really a really nice place to go if you're looking for information and you don't know a lot about the subject, because you're not just punting your own services, you're kind of opening the door to everyone else. And it's a really
Yeah.
useful portal to go as a good starting point, actually, if you kind of getting into this and trying to figure stuff out. Your website's really good for that.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's what I wanted. And again, as you've just said, in terms of male victims, female victims, that's why I called it You Don't Own Me, because for me it is universal, and it's very much around the friends and family as well, work colleagues, neighbours. When people say, well, it doesn't affect me, well, it affects everybody and it's everybody's problem. And we all need to be more aware, more understanding, realise that abuse isn't just around the physical, it's also around the psychological, it's around the financial. There's so many other aspects to it. And hopefully, yeah, the website deals with it in a way that isn't kind of too wordy or too confusing, and it's quite straightforward, hopefully. And I think a lot of the blogs and the guest blogs, that resonates very much with people, because if we make it too complicated, it's complicated enough, domestic abuse, and trying to explain it.
Yeah.
Whereas if we make people feel safe in what they're reading and what they're watching, then they're probably more likely to then share that with somebody else, hopefully.
Yeah, and something else you said just now that I found really interesting was around the fact that you specialize in post separation abuse, which is a topic that I've actually had a lot of conversations on this week, because I
Yeah.
actually think it's going to be the subject of my next book once this current one gets released, because it's such a huge thing. And I
Yeah.
think people think once I'm out of the relationship, I'm out of the abuse, and no,
Yeah.
you're not. No, you're not. And
No.
it's a really big thing. So if people are watching this, go and have a look at some of that stuff on Lucy's side about that, because it's a huge, huge topic that, yeah, like you said, people don't know about.
No, exactly. And again, you're 100% right. Very much that kind of general opinion by society is, well, you've left the situation now, so surely, things have improved and that's it, end of. But actually, that's when things get a lot worse in many, many cases, because the perpetrator, the abuser, is losing that power and control over that individual, over the children, if children are involved, and they can sense it. And actually, it will get worse. Sadly, it will, but there is so much support, and that's what we're trying to do, I think, isn't it? To say you're not on your own, and post-separation abuse is real, you know, and it doesn't get talked about nearly enough. But there is support and there is light at the end of the tunnel, and moving forward every day. You know, people are doing fantastic jobs left, right, and centre, encouraging people to say it will get better. It will take time. We have to be realistic. It will take time, but it can get better, and you can live a life you deserve.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the general message I give to people I talk to. It sucks, and it's gonna suck for a long time, but you'll get past it, and you'll get through it, and you'll get over it. You know,
Yeah.
but it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why people need to be listening to you, to me, to understand that, you know, it is something that we you know, we talk about domestic abuse a lot, but then when you bring in post-separation abuse, that's where people start to get a bit like, well, I don't really understand what do you mean? And obviously there are situations where people choose to stay in the relationship. And again, I had a conversation this morning around, we can't judge people for the decisions they make. There's lots of reasons why somebody might stay. It could be financial, it could be that they care for the perpetrator, you know, they could be their carer. There's so many reasons, and it could be culturally, and we can't judge people because everybody's unique. You know, we're all unique human beings, and all we can do is hopefully encourage people to reach out and get the support that they need when they need it and when they're ready, because timing's very much something that's sensitive to each person, I think.
Yeah, and I think something big on that is to not only not judge them, but not, you know, I see a lot of people, and I've had a lot of people personally, and with other survivors that I know very well, you know, say things like, well, if you're not going to get out of the relationship, I'm not going to be part of your life. So sticking
Yeah.
around to offer that support on their terms, not on your terms, is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that feeling of being ostracized by family and friends, you know, like you say, if you don't do what they expect you to do, because again, people judge you by their standards, but that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense,
No.
you know. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
brilliant, Lucy. So if people want to find You Don't Owe Me or listen to your podcast, how can they get hold of that?
Yeah. So thankfully YDOM is quite straightforward. You don't owe me. It's ydom.co.uk. And hopefully one day it will evolve to .com, but at the moment we're .co.uk. And then the podcast is, at the moment, it's within You Don't Owe Me. It's also on YouTube and it's also on Spotify.
Brilliant. Well,
And
I'll
you
get
can
all the
link.
links and I'll put them all in the description of the video so people can go straight to it. But yeah, I think especially people who want to have, you know, not just an individual's point of view, but lots of a portal that opens them up to a broader content around domestic abuse. You Don't Know Me is a great site for that. So go have a look.
Oh, thank you, Jared. Thank
Yep.
you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on, and it's great. This is what we need. We need everyone out there to know every single service that's available. You know, maybe someone doesn't want to watch my ugly face. They want to listen to your stuff. They want to look at your stuff. Maybe someone doesn't want to listen to you. They want to listen to me. And the more people out there that are available to listen to and help, I think the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If we're all shouting it from the rooftops, hopefully people will listen.
Yep. Well, one day, one day.
Yeah,
But,
we'll get there. We'll get
yeah,
there.
but brilliant. Well, thank you, Lucy, and yeah, thanks for coming on and keep up the good work.
Oh, and you, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.